Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is I want to add React Suspense to our routes. So over here in our app, we have 5 different routes, and when React loads onto the browser, essentially what happens is it loads all 5 of our pages. What we want to do is we want to code split this into individual routes that load. So for example, if I was to go onto the home page, I want the home page to only load, which in turn improves the speed of the site and performance. If I was to then navigate to, for example, the new hotels page, then this would load after as well. So going back to my destinations page, this is what we will be improving in this video, and we will be adding React query to fetch our data from the API. But first of all, I'm going to go into the React doc for suspense. So essentially, if we add a suspense component that lets you wait for some code to load, you can declare that it's loading. So in the React doc, what we see here is what is suspense. So suspense lets your components wait for something before they can render. So essentially what we want to do is we want to pause anything else other than our homepage route when we initially load the app, and then after that, if we go onto a relevant page, so in this example, if we go onto /destinations, we want to then load all of the data within the destination component over here. So if I scroll back up here, as you can see, we are importing lazy from React. So you can either destructure lazy or you could do react.lazy. So in my components that I am importing in here, I'm just going to copy this and we are going to lazily load our component. So if I paste this in, and as you can see, we have given it a constant of profile page. So I'm just going to do the same for our card. So I'm going to copy this or cut it and clear it in here. So our card is going to be lazily loaded as a component. And now all we need to do is cut out the route here and then paste it in here. And I'm just going to remove the comment. And if I now import that in and remove this, now save, what will then happen is this component here now would be lazily loaded when we go to the relevant route. So for the card, if I go into the /route, the card will then lazily load. So if I do the same for the other components, essentially what we are doing is we are giving it a lazy wrapper around the imports. So if I do the same again for all the other routes, so now I have all of my routes here. I don't need to install anything because this is built in with React. So what I need to do next, as you can see here, we have a suspense higher order component. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to wrap it around my routes here, and then I'll just pop this inside. And now what I need to do is import suspense from React like so, and then in the fallback, so when I go to a new route, so if I haven't navigated to this route beforehand, I'm going to then render a p tag in here just saying loading component like so. So now if I save and then if I go into my application, and I'm going to go in my inspector tab, and in the network tab, I'm just going to slow down the throttling. So we will be doing this quite a lot in this build. So I'm going to go on to slow 3G. And now if I refresh the page, as you can see, it says loading component, then loading, and then our component loads. So the loading is coming from fetching the data, and then the loading component is the fallback for when the component is getting loaded for the first time. So if I was to go onto the new hotels route this time, it should say loading component and then it will load our component. So it is lazily loading the component now. So this in turn would benefit the performance of the app, because what we are essentially doing is we are splitting each individual route in here. So therefore the bundle size is smaller and therefore the page loads faster. So initially that took a while to load because the component was loading onto the page and then injecting our JSX code onto the browser. If I now press back, what will happen is the speed of the component will load much faster because we have already loaded it this time. So if I press back, as you can see, the speed of the component was loaded much faster, and this is better for performance. And to demonstrate this, if I go onto a new route, so the all hotels route, this is also injected faster because initially when we loaded the application, this is the only component that gets rendered. So it's as simple as that. What we have done is we have code splitted our app now, so it is more performant.